A reading from the Gospel according to St. John. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again, and will take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be. And you know the way to the place that I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you're going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. It will almost certainly not have escaped your attention recently that there has been much public discourse about the truth, whatever that may be. As a Christian, I've been somewhat bemused, frankly, by how some seem to conflate and confuse what might be their opinions or their memories with the truth. The understanding that I have developed of what constitutes the truth is actually in no small part founded upon Jesus' saying that he was the truth and the light. It's fundamentally a claim to there being a core source of truth, and Jesus being it. It's clearly an overt claim to divinity. My earliest adult understanding of the nature of truth came with and was based in the world of mathematics. To the mathematician, truths are beautiful. They're self-evident and verifiable. They need no explanation. They need no context. Truths are universal and cannot be debated, debased, or changed. And frankly, that's what makes them truths. As Galileo put it, mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe, and they can retain their beauty whilst being completely inexplicable. Euler's equation is a good example of this. For those of you so interested, Euler's equation says that e to the power of pi I plus 1 equals 0. Now, as Benjamin Pierce put it, this equation is entirely useless. It is entirely paradoxical. We cannot understand it. We don't know what it means, but we have proved it, and therefore we know that it must be the truth. Watch the language in that description. It is beyond our understanding, whose purpose we cannot fathom, but absolutely known to be present. He could have been talking about religion, not maths. To be unchanging, to be constant, to be intrinsically insusceptible to change, that's one of the qualities that makes God what God is. It's part of the divine characteristic to be immutable. The others, of course, are to be omniscient and omnipotent. All of which means I find myself a little bemused. By press reports of people defining the world in terms of their truth, as if their world is somehow different to everyone else's. And little did I know, when listening to the Manic Street Preachers back in the 1990s, that their album, This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours, was not only fairly decent rock pop, but has turned out to be prophetic. If one person's recollections are one truth, and another equally honest and forthright set of recollections by somebody else are different, does that now mean that we have multiple truths? If so, I think something's been lost, because truths are, by their very definition, not something that can vary. Truths are immutable. I wonder why we don't sometimes be a bit quicker to call this out and demand that people own their recollections and their memories, their opinions and perspectives as just that, their thoughts. They're no less valid, they're no less important, and no less a rich vein of human experience for not calling them a truth. See, I think the abuse of our language here is a problem, because other than being inaccurate, the use of a truth claim in this way seems designed to confer automatic and unchallengeable legitimacy to those recollections, which of course means that if they are completely distant to the objective reality the rest of us might recognise, they become unchallengeable. It's almost pushy. It's moving from trying to relate one person's experience of the world to another, which is sharing an opinion, to one of forcing acceptance by the other of one's own opinion. You will accept this, for it is my truth. Now, I'm quite happy to uphold what I believe to be true, but would hope that I would always have the grace and the humility to concede that I could be wrong. And yet, Jesus saying, "I am the truth and the light, no one comes to the Father except through me," is unambiguous. There can be no mistaking the truth claim that is being made. Now, it happens that that is a claim I believe. That's the nature of faith, and each one of us must make the same leap at some point. That's how faith works. But I can't prove it any more than anyone else can, and we should take it seriously. But I do think we should also be very careful of the language we use, particularly when we make a claim to the truth. It's not unloving to remind each other that we might, each and every one of us, be wrong sometimes, and opinions can still be valuable, even if they are not elevated to the boundary of truth. For truths are in the domains of mathematics and of the divine. Neither should be taken lightly.